Do you ever feel like the world is too big and your dreams are out of reach? Let me tell you the story of a boy who started with nothing but a curious mind and an unstoppable desire to learn. This boy didn't have special powers. He wasn't born rich or incredibly smart, but through passion, hard work, and curiosity, he became one of the most influential people in the world. That boy is Bill Gates. Today, his name is linked with success and innovation. But his story isn't just about making money. It's about believing in yourself, working hard, and turning ideas into reality. It's also about staying determined, even when life gets tough. In this video, we'll look at Bill Gates' journey, his childhood, his curiosity, and how his love for computers began. By the end, you'll not only learn his story, but also feel inspired to go after your own dreams. Along the way, we'll also pick up some new English words and phrases, because Bill Gates believed in learning something new every day. Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington, USA, into a loving and supportive family. His full name, William Henry Gates III, came from his father and grandfather as he was the third in the line. But no one in his family could have imagined that this small boy would one day become a global icon. Bill's family wasn't rich or poor. They lived a comfortable middle-class life. His father, William H. Gates Sr., was a disciplined lawyer who valued hard work and education. His mother, Mary Maxwell Gates, was a kind and intelligent woman who worked as a teacher and later served on corporate boards. Even as a baby, Bill was curious. His parents often joked that he could stare at something for hours, trying to figure out how it worked. This curiosity became one of his greatest strengths. From an early age, Bill showed signs of brilliance. He loved books and read everything he could find. By the age of 7, he was devouring books on science, history, and even law. His favorite spot was the family's small library, where he would sit for hours with a book in his lap. But Bill wasn't perfect. In school, he often got bored because the lessons were too easy for him. He didn't like following rules, and his teachers sometimes complained that he was too restless. Still, his sharp mind made him stand out. One day, when Bill was 9 years old, a teacher asked him, "Why do you always look distracted in class?" Bill confidently replied, "Because I've already read the book." Realizing he needed more challenges, his parents enrolled him in the prestigious Lakeside School, known for nurturing bright students. Lakeside would change Bill's life forever. It was at Lakeside that Bill discovered something that excited him even more than books: computers. In the late 1960s, computers were rare, massive machines that filled entire rooms and were mostly owned by big companies or universities. But Lakeside had a computer, and Bill was immediately fascinated. The first time he touched a computer keyboard, he felt like he had discovered magic. He spent hours in the computer room, teaching himself how to program. His passion was so strong that he often skipped other classes just to work on the computer. At first, his teachers were annoyed, but they soon realized Bill had a special talent. One day, his math teacher said, "Bill, you might just change the world someday." At the age of 13, Bill created his first computer program, a simple tic-tac-toe game where users could play against the computer. This small achievement filled him with pride and opened his eyes to the endless possibilities of programming. During his time at Lakeside, Bill met Paul Allen, a senior student who also loved computers. Paul was quiet and thoughtful, while Bill was energetic and outspoken. Despite their differences, they became close friends, bonded by their shared passion for technology. One day, Paul said to Bill, "I believe there will be a computer on every desk and in every home someday." At the time, the idea of personal computers seemed impossible. Computers were expensive and used only by big businesses. But Bill believed in the vision. He and Paul Allen started dreaming about how they could make it a reality. By the time Bill was 15, he wasn't just learning, he was earning. Along with Paul, he started his first business, Traf-O Data. They created a program to analyze traffic data for cities and earned $20,000, a huge amount for teenagers in the 1970s. This experience taught Bill an important lesson. Success isn't just about having ideas, it's about turning them into action. To achieve big dreams, you have to work hard and take risks. Bill's love for learning and working didn't mean he was always serious. At Lakeside, he had a playful side. He liked sitting with girls during classes, not to flirt, but because he thought they were more focused and disciplined. This habit helped him become more comfortable around people and better at building connections. Bill was also high. Even as a teenager, Bill showed leadership qualities. He wasn't just interested in programming, he dreamed of building something big, something that would make computers accessible to everyone. Late at night, Bill and Paul would stay at Lakeside, discussing their dreams. They didn't have all the answers, but they shared a common vision for the future. In 1973, when Bill was 18, he enrolled at Harvard University. His parents were thrilled. Harvard was prestigious, and they hoped Bill would become a successful lawyer like his father. But Bill had other plans. While most students studied law, history, or medicine, Bill spent his time in the computer lab. He skipped classes to program and write code, solving problems and creating faster software. One day, a professor asked, "Bill, why don't you focus on your studies instead of spending all your time with computers?" Bill smiled and said, "Because this is the future. Computers will change everything, and I want to be ready for it." Even at Harvard, Bill stood out, not just as a student, but as a visionary. In 1974, something happened that changed Bill's life forever. A company called MITS created the first personal computer, the Altair 8800. Until then, computers were big, expensive, and only for businesses. When Bill and Paul saw the Altair 8800, they knew it was their chance. They believed personal computers would revolutionize the world. One night, Paul called Bill and said, "Bill, this is it. We need to act fast before someone else does." Bill agreed. They decided to write software to make the Altair more useful. The catch? They didn't own an Altair computer. They had to rely on their knowledge and imagination. It was a big risk, but they believed in their abilities. In 1975, at just 20 years old, Bill made a bold decision. He dropped out of Harvard to start a company with Paul. His parents were disappointed and worried. His mother said, "Bill, what are you doing? Harvard is your future." Bill replied, "Mom, this is my future. Computers are my passion, and I can't let this opportunity slip away." Leaving Harvard was risky. Starting a company with no guarantees was even riskier. But Bill believed in his vision. That same year, Bill and Paul started Microsoft, short for Microcomputer Software. Their goal was simple: create software for personal computers. The early days were tough. They had no office, no money, and no team. Just two young men with a dream. Bill worked day and night writing code and meeting clients. Paul focused on building partnerships and spreading the word about their company. Their hard work paid off. The program they created for the Altair 8800 was a success. Soon, other companies started noticing Microsoft. As Microsoft grew, Bill Gates realized he couldn't do everything on his own. He needed a team of talented people who shared his passion for innovation. So he started hiring the best programmers and engineers he could find. Bill was a tough boss. He demanded excellence and worked harder than anyone else. He often stayed at the office until 2 or 3 a.m., making sure every line of code was perfect. Bill believed that to achieve greatness, you have to give your best effort every single day. In 1980, Microsoft got its first big break. A company called IBM was building a personal computer and needed an operating system. An operating system is like the brain of a computer. It controls everything. IBM approached Microsoft and asked if they could create one. Bill didn't have an operating system ready, but he didn't say no. Instead, he promised IBM that Microsoft would deliver. He quickly bought an existing operating system called QDOS, improved it, and renamed it MS-DOS. He sold it to IBM, and it became a massive success. Every IBM computer now used Microsoft software. This deal changed everything. Microsoft went from being a small company to a major player in the tech industry. Bill Gates wasn't just a programmer, he was a leader. He knew how to motivate his team and push them to do their best. He believed in innovation and wasn't afraid to take risks. One of his most famous quotes is, "Success is a lousy teacher." It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. This means you should never become overconfident, even when you're successful. Bill also believed in continuous learning. He often told his team, "Never stop improving. There's always a better way to do something." But success didn't come without challenges. Microsoft faced tough competition from other tech companies, and some people doubted Bill's abilities. However, he never gave up. He stayed focused, worked hard, and continued to innovate. For Bill, every challenge was an opportunity to learn and grow. By his mid-20s, Microsoft was growing rapidly, but Bill didn't stop there. He had a bigger vision: to make computers affordable and accessible to everyone in the world. This vision drove him to work harder than ever. He wanted to change the way people lived, worked, and communicated. By the early 1980s, Microsoft had become a leader in the software industry. In 1985, the company launched one of its most famous products, Windows. Windows was a revolutionary operating system that made computers easier to use. Before Windows, computers were complicated and only experts could operate them. But Windows changed that. Now anyone could use a computer with simple clicks and commands. The launch of Windows was a turning point for Microsoft. It became a huge success and was installed on millions of computers worldwide. Bill's dream of bringing computers into every home and office was starting to come true. As Microsoft grew, so did its competition. Companies like Apple were also developing innovative technology. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was one of Bill's biggest rivals. Interestingly, while they were competitors, Bill and Steve had a strange kind of respect for each other. Steve once said, "Bill is unimaginative, but he's brilliant at running a company." Bill said about Steve, "Steve had a flair for design like no one else. He made things beautiful." Even though their approaches were different, both men wanted to change the world with technology. By 1987, at the age of 31, Bill Gates became the youngest self-made billionaire in the world. Imagine that. A young man who once spent hours in a school computer lab was now one of the richest people on the planet. But Bill didn't let his success make him lazy. Instead, he worked even harder. He believed that with great success comes great responsibility. One of his most famous quotes is, "If you are born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, it's your fault." This reflected his belief that everyone has the power to change their life with hard work and determination. While Bill was busy building Microsoft, his personal life was also taking shape. In 1987, he met a young woman named Melinda French. She worked at Microsoft and was intelligent, kind, and driven. Bill and Melinda started dating and quickly realized they had a lot in common. Both believed in using their success to make the world a better place. In 1994, Bill and Melinda got married in a private ceremony in Hawaii. Their wedding was simple and elegant, reflecting their down-to-earth personalities. Together, they had 3 children. Jennifer Gates, born in 1996, who became an accomplished equestrian and medical student. Rory Gates, born in 1999, known for being intelligent and private. Phoebe Gates, born in 2002, who shares her father's passion for education and innovation. Despite being one of the richest families in the world, Bill and Melinda Gates raised their children with humility. They didn't spoil them with endless luxuries, but instead taught them the value of hard work and kindness. Leading a company as big as Microsoft wasn't easy. Bill often faced criticism from the media and other companies. Some said he was too aggressive in business, while others questioned Microsoft's practices. In the late 1990s, Microsoft faced a major legal challenge. The U.S. government accused the company of using unfair practices to dominate the software market. This was a stressful time for Bill, as the case dragged on for several years. But he didn't give up. He faced the challenges head-on, learned from his mistakes, and kept leading Microsoft with determination. As Bill got older, he realized his wealth could do more than just build a successful company. In 2000, he and Melinda started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, one of the world's largest charitable organizations. The foundation focuses on solving big global problems, like improving global health, fighting diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS, providing education, helping children in poor countries go to school. 1. I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. This means simplicity and innovation can come from unexpected places. 2. Don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do, you are insulting yourself. Bill reminds us to focus on our own journey instead of comparing ourselves to others. 3. Patience is a key element of success. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and patience. Many people wonder how much money Bill Gates earns. While it's hard to calculate exactly, here's an estimate. In 1 second, he earns around $127. In 1 minute, about $7,600. In 1 day, over $127,000, $10 million. Even with all his wealth, Bill doesn't live extravagantly. He believes in using his money to help others and create a better world. One day, a young journalist interviewed Bill Gates. Nervously, the journalist asked, "What is the secret to your success?" Bill smiled, pulled out a blank check, and handed it to the journalist. He said, "Write any amount you want and take it." The journalist, shocked, thought Bill was joking and said, "No, sir, I don't want your money. I want to know your secret." Bill smiled again and said, "I'm serious. Write any amount and take it." The journalist refused again, feeling uncomfortable. Bill then said, "This is the secret of my success. When I see an opportunity, I grab it without hesitation. You had the chance to take this check, but you hesitated." Most people miss opportunities because they overthink or are afraid to take risks. Success comes to those who act. By the early 2000s, Microsoft was at the peak of its success, and Bill Gates was admired worldwide. But as the company grew, Bill realized he wanted to focus on more than just business. In 2006, he made a surprising announcement. He would step down from his daily role at Microsoft to focus full-time on his foundation. Many were shocked, but Bill explained, "I've been lucky to succeed in technology. Now I want to spend my time giving back to the world." The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation became one of the most ambitious projects in the world. Its goal? To give every child, no matter where they are born, a chance to live a healthy and productive life. Some people doubted the foundation's ability to solve big problems, and others accused Bill of using his money for influence. But he didn't let negativity stop him. Bill once said, "If I listened to every critic, I'd never get anything done." Focus on the work, not the noise. This is a powerful lesson for everyone. There will always be doubters, but determination and self-belief are key to success. Bill is not just about giving money, he also supports innovative solutions. One of his most exciting projects focuses on clean energy. He knows climate change is one of the biggest threats to the world, so he funds projects for renewable energy like solar and wind power. He also supports research into safe, sustainable nuclear energy. Bill believes that investing in science can solve even the toughest problems. Even though he no longer runs Microsoft, he continues to inspire millions. He often gives speeches at schools, universities, and conferences. In these talks, he shares his journey and encourages young people to dream big. One of his most famous pieces of advice is, "Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now, take risks, make mistakes, and learn from them." Despite being one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates lives a surprisingly simple life. Yes, he has a big house, but he doesn't spend his money on flashy cars or unnecessary luxuries. Instead, he loves spending time with his family. Bill and Melinda worked hard to raise their children with good values. They didn't give their kids unlimited money. In fact, they decided to leave most of their fortune to charity. Bill once said, "I want my kids to have their own identity. Giving them too much money would take away their motivation." This parenting style teaches an important lesson. True success isn't about wealth, it's about character. Even as a billionaire, Bill follows a simple routine. He believes good habits are the foundation of a successful life. In the morning, Bill starts his day by reading. He reads about science, history, and global issues, believing that reading expands your mind and helps you think critically. During the day, he works on foundation projects, meets scientists, and reviews progress. In the evening, he enjoys playing bridge, a card game, with his friends. It helps him relax and keeps his mind sharp. Bill believes in staying curious. He says, "No matter how busy you are, make time to learn. Learning is the best investment you can make." During the COVID-19 pandemic, Bill Gates played a major role in helping the world. His foundation donated billions of dollars to develop vaccines and distribute them to poor countries. Bill Gates' story is not just about building Microsoft or becoming one of the richest men in the world. It's about redefining what success means. For many, success is wealth, fame, and power. But for Bill, success is about impact, the difference you make in the lives of others. After stepping away from Microsoft, Bill Gates became a symbol of hope and possibility. His journey taught the world that success doesn't end with personal achievements. It begins when you use your success to uplift others. In one of his speeches, he said, "The true measure of success is not how much you've achieved, but how many lives you've improved." This simple yet powerful idea became the foundation of his life's work. Even in his later years, Bill Gates is far from slowing down. He has devoted himself to solving some of the world's biggest challenges. His foundation is tackling climate change, improving education, and eradicating diseases like malaria and polio. Bill often says, "The future is not something we enter, it's something we create. Let's create a future where everyone has a chance to succeed." By 2023, Bill Gates had donated over $50 billion through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But it's not just the amount of money that matters, it's the philosophy behind it. Bill believes that wealth is not meant to be hoarded. He often says, "If you're fortunate enough to be successful, you have a duty to give back." Wealth should be used to solve problems, not create them. His giving inspired other billionaires to follow his lead. In 2010, Bill and Warren Buffett launched the Giving Pledge, a commitment by the world's wealthiest people to donate the majority of their wealth to charity. Today, more than 230 billionaires have joined this movement. This act of generosity shows that true greatness comes not from what you take, but from what you give. Even though Bill Gates is admired by millions, his life has not been free of challenges. In 2021, he and Melinda announced their divorce after 27 years of marriage. This was a difficult time for him personally and professionally. But instead of letting the situation break him, Bill remained focused on his mission. He and Melinda continued working together on their foundation, putting their shared vision above their personal differences. This chapter of his life teaches an important lesson. Challenges are inevitable, but how you respond to them defines your character. Bill often says, "Life will test you in ways you can't imagine, but every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger." As one of the most influential figures in history, Bill Gates has shared countless pieces of wisdom. For the next generation, he says, "Dream big. Start small. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Start where you are, use what you have, and build from there." He believes failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Each mistake teaches you something valuable, he says. He also values time, calling it your most precious resource. Bill advises spending time on things that matter, learning, growing, and helping others. He encourages everyone to stay curious, saying, "The world is full of problems, but it's also full of opportunities. Stay curious, keep learning, and find solutions." Finally, he believes kindness is strength. The world needs more compassion. Be kind, not because it's easy, but because it's the right thing to do. Bill Gates once said, At the end of the day, it's not about the money, the fame, or the awards. It's about the people you love and the difference you've made. His life is a reminder that anyone, no matter where they start, can achieve greatness. He was once a curious boy who loved reading and computers. Today, he's a global icon who has transformed the world. Bill Gates' journey shows us some important lessons. Education gives you power. Taking action is crucial. Resilience helps you push through tough times. True success comes from giving back, and no matter how much you achieve, staying humble matters. His impact will last for generations. From creating Microsoft to fighting poverty, from revolutionizing technology to inspiring people, his life proves the power of hard work, curiosity, and kindness. Bill Gates' story is one of courage, innovation, and generosity. But most of all, it's a story of hope. No matter where you come from, you can shape your own future. Take inspiration from his life. Face challenges, stay curious, and work toward your dreams. Greatness isn't about where you begin. It's about how far you're willing to go. And Bill Gates' story isn't over yet. It's just the start of the legacy he's building for the world.